I was warned about this chapter, so now I'm paranoid. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact: I've been to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Another fun fact: I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Notably, I literally. So at least for where I live, the chapters drop around like 11 or like 11:30, I think. Noon hits. One of my homeboys says, "Hey, Buckaroo, I know you're gonna record the chapter review today. Be careful." And that was it. That was it. And notably, I appreciate the homeboy who texted me that. I always appreciate a little warning because Chainsaw Man catches me off guard all the time. So, with that being the case, we waited 2 weeks for this one. And if I had to get that warning, this is the first time he's ever even texted me that too. I'm scared. I'm scared. How much of this chapter is it gonna... I swear, if I can't show most of the chapter, I literally, the precaution I've taken, I have 2 copies of the chapter up. And what I'm gonna do, as I have it on me and keep it on me at all times, I'm going to literally go page by page, one for one. I'm gonna lead with the page turn on the one that's not on OBS. So hopefully I can catch myself in advance. I'll keep reading the chapter just on the other page, but I'm not risking it. Not, especially right now, not risking it. So let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into chapter 211, War. Oh Lord. I think it's the same thing they're gonna, do they have to do that? I mean, it's Fujimoto. I bet I can already tell. Let me hazard a guess right here from the start. If we're really open with this chapter title, War. I mean, I can't. It's just underwear, but like, I'm not gonna say it. War, blank, and chainsaw. I'm assuming one way or another, Lil D is gonna do the thing where they lift up their skirt again at the end of a chapter. But like, I didn't show that last time. I'm not gonna show it here. So, let's see. Are you being real with me for right now? Why did I say it like that? Lil D. Yep. Did you? But you know what? I give Denji credit. He was like, interesting. I guess, now I think about it, would that, because obviously this is still before the year 2000. This is before Y2K. So like, it's funny. Like, Lil D was funny and weird to me and to almost everyone else because that sounds like a rapper name now. But I'm not actually cultured enough in music to know if like the whole like Lil this, Lil that, Lil this, Lil that was like actually a thing before the 2000. Like I know of rappers from the era, but I can't, like, I'm thinking of different rappers that none of them have like the little prefix. But I do wonder, maybe that's why it doesn't trigger anything. But even then, Lil D. Alright. Let's see. Did you bring me here? We carried you together. Oh, is that? Hold on. Alright, safe. Alright. Yeah, it's Fami. Oh, she's the Fami. The real Fami. Okay, so she did survive. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Notably, she was near the buildings being thrown around by falling, but she was never actually hit. I was kind of wondering where she was. So she did end up getting recovered. I do now, though. I genuinely do wonder what her narrative purpose is gonna be, and like not in a bad way, but kind of in a weird, just like in a weird. I don't know. I have no idea like what this character is gonna be meant to do now. Like it seems like we are truly in Endgame. It almost feels like Yoru kind of like stole the final boss role, maybe. Because supposedly this is our main antagonist, at least our... Well, that's the thing. That's a weird thing about Lil D. Technically, they don't even want to be the main antagonist. They're just destined to be the main antagonist. So, like... I don't know. Like, it feels weird to have our titular character and our main protagonist kind of just chatting it up right now. Especially having our main antagonist save our main protagonist. Obviously, this is like a strong parallel to part 1 in that sense, where the main antagonist saved, quote unquote, the titular character. Obviously, Makima saved Chainsaw Man and Denji. But like, that was at the start of the narrative. We're seemingly at the narrative's end. Let's see. She's Family, the real Fami. Family. Right. And I'm the Death D. Thus the name Lil D. But then, like, here's my thing. You know what? I was gonna say, but why Lil D though? Because I guess Big D sounds just as bad. Especially if there is no like. And then again, I've never heard. I think I've actually heard. Like Big E comes to mind, but that's not the same thing at all. But essentially, Big D would sound worse. And like, there's no real way you can shorten death, right? Like if I'm thinking about, it's the same reason why Yoru is probably called Yoru and not like a short. Like, how do you shorten war? It's 3 letters. Like, I don't know how you would shorten that. But for Fami makes sense. And I think about it, Fami is the only one of the horsemen to have one of those abbreviated names. Because every other one just would be, like, what would be the abbreviated version of control? Connie? Connie actually could work. Connie actually, and I think, wait a second, Connie actually could work. But like, Connie and Fami are, like, the only two that work. Because Death and Yoru, like, is Death even 2 syllables? Death. I guess technically it is 2, if you, like, stretch it out. Hold on. This is gonna be the dumbest Google search I've ever done. I think is it 2 syllables? Or I feel like it can be said as death. No, but I feel like you have to do the D and the th. So I guess it is 2. Let me just double check. How many syllables? Google's gonna be like, why are you looking this up? Is in. I'm sorry. Is it 2? Is it 2? Is it 2? No, it is 1 syllable. It's 1 syllable. Okay, so it is 1 syllable. All right, so yeah, it's hard to shorten things down with 1 syllable. Like pencil, the name I go by is at least 2. You can shorten that down to pen. I have no idea how you shorten death, other than just taking the letter. So little D, because big D sounds just as funny, despite being unironically kind of more accurate. But let's see. That's the name, little D. Little D. He's like Denji's running the calculation in his head, like, it's like, does she have a little D? If she is the big D, what's happening right now? Let's see. Let me double check. All right, we're safe. All right, back. Are you for real right now, Denji? Unironically, out of all the things you've experienced on, like, the last day, I feel like this is unironically one of the more tame things. Like, is that crazy? I don't know. After what Denji's been going through for a while, like, Doug, this is not, like, obviously there's a lot to take in at first. And I guess that does make sense to say, are you for real right now? But, like, Denji, not the craziest thing to happen to you, like, in the last 24 hours, big dog. Like, not at all. But let's see. Are you for real right now? I'm for real. And you know what? In, like, 15 years, we're not seeing part 2 animated forever. But I'm gonna be very interested to hear what Lil D sounds like. Like what would they sound like? Makima's voice did end up sounding a bit higher pitched than I would have expected, but at least delivery wise sounds about the same. That I would have, like, obviously I wouldn't voice Makima, but if I was the voice director for Makima or casting for Makima, I would have the voice actress do the exact same thing that the voice actress for Makima in both Japanese and English did. So I do agree with that casting. But I do wonder what Lil D would sound like. Like, I almost assume they sound like flatlined or monotone. Like, as everyone pointed out, the reason her neck is constantly like this, even when she was still under the Fami identity, is because, the hanged person. So I do wonder if her voice is truly just, I'm for real. My name is Lil D. Like there's just as minimal expression as possible. And not even for, like, trying to have as little expression as possible, but, like, it's literally all she can do. She can't actually force out any extra emotion. Let's see. I'm for real. Okay then. He's like, but you know what? At least Denji accepted. He's like, this is a lot, and I really don't got the brain capacity for this, so I'll leave with it. I'll rock with it. Okay then. Oh yeah, Asa. What happened to Yoru? Wow. Well, about that, buddy. Yoko kind of left you. Like, left you. And now I think about it, why did she leave Denji? I mean, maybe ultimately when Yoru went on her whole, praise the people speech, maybe then Lil D, upon sensing the death of, sensing the death or, like, transmutation of falling, was like, she's swole. And possibly, the countless loss of life probably all had Lil D with her abilities being like, oh yeah, she's amped to the moon and back now. Let me grab Denji real quick before she just turns him into a weapon. But let's see. Oh, in the funny thing about this, and I think about it, not even the macro narrative, well, kind of in the macro narrative sense, considering a good chunk of part 2 has been about, like, re-empowering Yoru and re-empowering Denji, considering neither character was in their prime at the start of part 2, despite the characters being relatively strong. It's kind of funny how D got what she wanted and now more, with Yoru being as powerful as she is, seemingly, right? Because remember, ultimately, Fami, or Lil D, sorry, now mixing the names up, but Lil D's whole goal was to actually make Yoru and Denji strong enough to boom her. But now Yoru's seemingly just strong. Well, it's hard to tell if she's strong enough, but like still, could be strong enough to boom her now. But now she's not seemingly going for it. At least not now. Let's see. Oh yeah, what happened to Yoru? Let's double check again. All right, we're safe. All right, let's see. Okay, it's downpouring outside. Fear of war surged with nuclear weapons. Oh, I just said it. It's too late. Fear of war surged when nuclear weapons were dropped on the... Okay, I'm not saying that, though. You got me because I was just reading. On those people. As a result, the war D has grown far stronger than I anticipated. Ah, okay. So that is a thing, right? That's funny. But honestly, you know what? I do wonder. Maybe the Nostradamus prophecies were a self-fulfilling one, or like not. What is it? Would it be? I forget how the man. I'm not good with time travel stuff. Would it be like bootstrap paradox? Hold on. Let me. We're gonna run to the Googler again. Let me double check. I'm thinking bootstrap paradox, right? Where ultimately. Or like the Oedipus tragedy, right? One meets their destiny on the road to avoid it. Let's see. Whoops, just typed in bootstrap. I need the paradox. Let's see. Predestination paradox, a bootstrap paradox, a time travel paradox in which the consequences of an event in the future travel back in time because the event in the past or present, which in turn among causes the first event, forming a causal loop. Okay, so not a bootstrap paradox. I don't think it's a grandfather paradox either. I think it is. Hold on. Is it actually called the Oedipus paradox? Am I wrong? What's it called? Is it real? Okay. It's just I guess it's not really a paradox as I would think of it. But essentially, in Oedipus, the whole idea of the king, or Oedipus's father. Oh, actually, I think it's like, see, both. I haven't read Oedipus in a long time. I did read it once long ago. But essentially, the whole point of that story is that there are two types of people trying to avoid their destiny. It was Oedipus's father trying to avoid his destiny by banishing Oedipus. Instead of just booming him, once again, for some reason, all these ancient Greek myths, the people who don't want to be overthrown never just boom their kid. And, like, I get it if they're gods. Like, okay, Kronos couldn't boom his kids, they were immortal. But, like, for all the mortal men in Greek mythology, or just mythology in general, like, dude, you could have just boomed the kid if you were really that scared of the kid. Or just not lay pipe, one or the other, but probably just boom the kid. But essentially, in that story, the father banishes Oedipus, and ultimately Oedipus later comes and kills him, aka by trying to avoid the destiny of being slain by his own son. He walked into getting slain by his own son. And Oedipus had a prophecy about how he's gonna, lay in the same bed as his mama. And ultimately, that ended up happening too, because he tried to avoid it. Right? Because he didn't know the full context, didn't know the full story. Once again, because of the father. So, like, that I want to call it a paradox, quote unquote. But essentially, the reason I bring that up is it seems like that may have been the case here with the Nostradamus prophecies. Ultimately, thanks to Lil D's knowledge of the prophecies, and obviously public safety's knowledge and everyone's knowledge of the prophecies, they ended up, like, feeding into the idea of the prophecy. Where, by trying so hard to avoid that fate, they ended up driving into it. By Fami, or not Fami, I keep saying Fami, by Little D trying so hard to make Yoru and Denji powerful enough to destroy her so she wouldn't activate and boom all humanity. Now Yoru has gotten so powerful that she's likely going to institute a state of endless war. Right? Because I remember Asa a few chapters back was like, Yoru has something even worse than, like, the elimination of all life. We cannot let her achieve that. And it seems like now she's pretty close to achieving that. Let's see. Hold on, let me test. Oh yeah, we're good. Huh? Wait, she's alive? Where is she? Buddy? Well, then again, I guess he doesn't have any context for what La Bombe Nuclear would be. So, like, yeah, I guess he's fine. Let's see. She's alive? Where is she? I don't know. But I do know what she's doing. She's slaughtering D hunters as she gathers a D army. But Yoru, what do you need that for? I mean, maybe just for the culture, I guess. So, thing is, though, we don't know where Control is, and obviously I don't think Fami would be on their side again. Honestly, I know it's probably not going to happen, and it seems like we may be building to, like, a repeat of it, but I really do want to see that battle. Like, I want to see Prime Chainsaw Man versus the Three Horsemen and the army of Ds that were with him. because he did chunk Yoru, who presumably was at least the second strongest of the horsemen. And I do believe it is confirmed that Death wasn't there, right? Like, notably, I remember reading comments and elsewhere I saw a discussion like, oh, how on earth did Prime Pochita even do anything to Death previously? Death wasn't there. I think she just straight up did not manifest. Or not did not manifest, but she just didn't show up to that battle. They just ganked Chainsaw Man because he was running havoc in the underworld. And it was only the 3 horsemen plus a bunch of random Ds. So I'm assuming we're kind of building back to that, but with no control D and Fami seemingly being on the side of Chainsaw Man, and obviously Lil D presumably also being on the side of Chainsaw Man, it may just be Chainsaw Man versus Yoru, which is going to be interesting. But let's see. But very interesting. Let's see. Let me go one more page again. We're checking. All right, we're good. Let's see. When she finds you, you'll be turned into a weapon too. A weapon she'll use to erase me. So, okay. So I am assuming literally it must have been like how I described it. Literally the very second that Fami sensed how powerful Yoru had become. Or I keep saying Fami. The very second Lil D sensed how powerful Yoru had become, she scurried over, scooped up Denji with Fami, the real Fami, and then immediately dipped out of there. Because ultimately, Yoru, who did hesitate, notably before her Giga Amp, she did hesitate and even say no to turning Denji into a weapon. And that could still be the case. We don't know. But like, maybe Fami's just right. Like now, because Yoru is so close to achieving her absolution, her dream of like, I'm guessing it's gotta be endless war, right? Because ultimately, but it does kind of raise a question. And I'll see if this chapter tackles it. But what I mean, like, there's still the agony in suffering. Like, ultimately, erasing death doesn't erase pain or dismemberment or anything. You just couldn't perish. You would never get a release, I suppose. I guess that's the point of endless war. But like, the thing is, I do wonder like how sustainable that is, without like also erasing other concepts. But let's see. A weapon she'll use to erase me. Okay. That sounds dangerous for us. Wait. I mean, who's us in this context? Let's see. That sounds dangerous for us. Wait, so if you're the Death D, what'll happen if death gets erased? Living beings will cease to die from any and all phenomena. Old age, illness, fatal injury, you name it. And that's the thing, right? That doesn't spontaneously mean everyone turns into, like, Deadpool or Wolverine. It just means someone could atomize you and you'd somehow still be alive. Like, unironically, remember those bodies that we saw in last chapter? Which someone pointed out a fantastic thing 2 weeks ago. The idea that I was horrified of showing even a little bit of Yoru, which I was. Still scared. We'll never do. But, that goes to show that is just a sad statement on the human condition. It didn't even cross my mind how horrifying and wrong it is that I just glazed over the fact that there were a bunch of human bodies atomized by La Bombas Nuclear. It didn't even click with me. Like, that's also a string I probably shouldn't show off the channel. But that's how desensitized I am to it. And notably, they haven't been used, as far as we know, in like years? Like, pre-2000 years? Like, I'm older than me years. I'm not old enough there are very few people on the planet that's old enough to have like direct reference or direct sense memory of when Las Bombas Nucleares were last used in any major scale, in any major conflict. It's been an eternity. But even still, just the idea of it, I'm so desensitized, and that is crazy. That's crazy. But it ultimately, all that does is help build on Fujimoto's commentary about how innately violent the human species is, and how wrong it is in a way that we are so accustomed to the idea of war and death. That's crazy. That's good. Like I read that comment, I was like, huh? Because they're right. I was like, it didn't even like nothing even clicked with me. I was like, oh yeah, it was fine. Can't, heaven forbid, I show even lick anything. But both me and the guidelines were like, vaporized bodies, or mostly atomized bodies, we're good. Old age, fatal injury, you name it. Once again, she's saying this with such a flat face. Let's see. Alright, we're good, we're safe. Hey, wouldn't that be, like, awesome for everybody other than us? Not with how the world works currently. Like, you couldn't just erase, like, right now, like, let's say death ceased existing in our universe. Obviously, I don't think it'd be too much different from Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man isn't that far off from our universe. It just has, Ds. But the reason, like, It's the just erasure of death. Like, you would have to do super specific things in order to make everybody immortal, and I do everybody and everything immortal, because notably we're erasing the concept of death, meaning not just we as humans wouldn't perish anymore, but like everything that's alive wouldn't perish anymore. So the universe, which technically is alive, wouldn't perish. Stars, which technically are alive, wouldn't perish. Planets, debatable whether or not they're alive, but kind of wouldn't like. But obviously the main thing is animals wouldn't perish. Plants wouldn't perish. Obviously we're animals as well. Parasites wouldn't perish. Like, ultimately, nothing of erasing death erases all the pain and suffering and agony that would come with being stuck in a state of essentially pseudo-death, right? Like, imagine if you could not die, but someone blew a hole in your chest. That momentary agony you would feel before the life fades from your body in seconds would last forever, because you're not going to spontaneously regenerate, you just be alive. For sickness, especially a terminal one, you would just be in pain forever with no hope of relief. And notably, if you were ever, like, infected with something, there's nothing any antibiotics would do. Your body, well, then again, your cells would be able to die. So you'd just be in, like, that's the thing, you'd be in constant agony. Endless agony. You would have to erase so many more things, and even then, I feel like it'd be way too complicated. Like, I don't know, I've thought of an immortal world many a time before, and, like, there are ways where if I squint my eyes, do a backflip and twirl around, I can kind of make it work. But that's so much effort, and I still ultimately don't think it's all that worth it in the end, because I just don't think it's that functional. Let's see. Wouldn't that be awesome for everybody other than us? Well, no. Let's see. It's a nightmare scenario. Is it? A world without death is War D's goal. Yep, okay, so it is the idea of endless war. Let me double check. Alright, yeah, we're safe. Let's see. War D is trying to start a never-ending. Wow, we're just saying it. I actually, for some, my Spanish is failing me. A never-ending war. Undying humans in all parts of the world, hating and hurting each other for eternity. Yeah, that's the thing, and notably that would be, and I guess the fundamental question that would be asked, right? Hey, well, if no one can die anymore, what's even the point of war? What's the point of war right now? Like think about it. Think like level with me real quick. What's the point of war right now? Especially like we as one human spirit, like, and this is gonna get mad philosophical. I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, here goes Pencil Man getting on this soapbox on his high horse." Welcome to Pencil Man Chainsaw Reviews, where Chainsaw Man Reviews, where we're getting philosophical. I personally think right now war is kind of pointless. Like really, what is the point of any oppression? What is the point of like degrading other human beings? What is the point of hatred in the grand scheme of things? Really nothing. But we still do it all the same. So that's the thing. Ultimately, you would think in a world where no one can perish, people would possibly get bored of war. But if anything, I think that would just make people even more incentivized to commit violence, more incentivized to commit harm, more incentivized to commit agony. Because ultimately, the ultimate punishment is now gone. What else do you do? And I'm assuming there'd be all kinds of different response if right now in our world, death would have suddenly just vanish. I'd assume people would try to perish anyway. I assume there'd be just a skyrocket of people throwing themselves off buildings. People going into airplane turbines. People trying to get devoured alive by other things. I can imagine the unbelievable horror of people trying to eat anything. Like, imagine people who like to eat, such as your boy, a chronic eater, watching an absolute horror as whatever I try to eat, plant-based, animal-based, or anything, simply will not be eatable anymore. You'd probably start, ironically, Fami would probably get a huge boost because you probably start to starve. You don't want to perish from your starvation, though. You just starve. Like, that's the thing. Suffering in endless war would then just evolve. Like, unfortunately, I think since there's no justification for such a concept now, but we do it anyway, and so many people benefit from it, as many people suffer from it, it would just be worse. Because there would be no end. There would be no release. There would be nothing. And it would simply last forever. Because ultimately, death in its most abstract form, or really, not even its most abstract, death in its most basic form is the end. The closing of a story. The end of a tale. The completion of something, right? Notably, I like living. I ain't trying to get to my completion anytime soon. But that's the thing. It's there. And as long as it's there, that gives purpose, that gives limits, that gives an end. With no ending, yeah, I could easily see a world of endless war. Let's see. Let me skip ahead. Alright, yeah, we're good. That's Wardy's dream. Interesting. And then, but I do wonder how Denji's gonna feel about this. Like, because obviously the implication here is, we gotta fight your girlfriend, dog. We may have to boom her. Let's see. Okay, good. We're safe. Originally, my powers were supposed to activate and wipe out mankind. My many efforts to stop that prophecy changed the future into an even worse one. Okay, so that's interesting. That's different than what I was talking about. That's not running into your destiny on the road to avoid it. That's worsening your destiny by trying to resist it. That's Can I talk about it without spoiling Deltarune? Because I know not everyone's a huge Deltarune guy like me. And I guess the game's not over yet, so what am I spoiling? But that is a thing. That is a thing. I feel like I'm supposed to be spoiling Black Myth Wukong too. I feel like I don't want to. What's an old story that can use to reference this? Oh well, no. I have the perfect tale. Star Wars. Darth Vader. Like that whole the tale of Anakin Skywalker, essentially. And really the tale of the Jedi themselves, right? Ultimately, by trying to avoid the destiny of the dark side taking hold and stuff like that, they ended up making the universe worse on like every single level. Obviously, you have the personal version of that in Anakin's story, and you have the macro scale version of that just in the tale of the Jedi, right? Ultimately, those characters knew what fate was, knew their destiny, whether it be in a direct sense in some like case of the literal prophecy of the chosen one, or in the abstract sense of just like, the balance of the force and the balance of the world. They knew that, they tried to avoid it, and things just ended up worse. The Empire ended up dominating the entire galaxy and stuff like that, with Darth Vader, the chosen one at the helm. So that's the kind of thing that Death ran into. But that does make me wonder, if that's the case, Death, and you're worried about this, why not just go into hiding, wait it out, and let your powers activate? If that original fate still does exist. I don't know. Let's see. Into an even worse one. Interesting though, she doesn't even like want to look Denji in the eyes as she says this too. It does seem like Denji is actually fundamentally horrified at this idea. But I guess it does make sense, right? Like, especially Denji, a character so heavily steeped in suffering, now realizing a world of endless suffering and conflict, where essentially all Denji's life has been is nothing but an endless war, whether it be against himself or against the very world. Yeah, I think he understands now why that would actually be a horrible thing. But let's see. Oh. Okay, maybe not. He's making a face. Let's see.
Hey, hold up. Your story's too much of a stretch. Also, I'm supposed to believe you're the Death D? Yeah, right. Aren't you just a cringy weird girl?
I mean, I get that. It's kind of hard to believe, but once again, Denji, this is not the first time a woman has lied to you. It's not even the second time. It's not even the third time. It's not even the fourth time. It's not even the fifth time. It's not even the sixth time. It's not even the seventh time. And I do mean lies and then tell you later truth. Is it not even the eighth time? Is it not even the eighth time? To reference who I'm listing, Makima, obviously, Himeno, Reize, Power, technically in a way Nayuta sometimes, Yoru, and Asa. It may be the eighth time. Oh no, Fumiko. So that's 8. It's not even the 8th time. I feel like I'm still missing some. Am I still missing some? But essentially, this is like the 9th time Owen has lied to you and then told you a truth later on. Buddy, you just gotta get it with the program, dog. Let's see.
Yeah, right.
Oh, who's this?
She's really a D, dude.
Huh? I have no idea who this is. Let's see. Oh, is that Swordman? Swordman? I actually forget this character. I was kind of wondering what happened to him. Let's see.
Hey, it's some guy I've seen before.
Hey, admittedly, that's my exact reaction, Denji. I know him loosely. Let's see.
At this rate, Wardy's gonna show up before Denji's done playing catch-up. Lil D, I bet I'll believe you if you show him your belly.
This is what I was warned about. This is why I have the second tab open. How many pages do we have left? We're on page 12. Supposedly it's a 20-page chapter. Probably really about 18 or 17. Probably about... Is there really going to be 5 pages of what I think there's about to be? Alright, let's see. Let's risk it. Yep! Knew it. Yep, knew it. Yep, you know it. Yeah. I gotta dab next time I see my homie in person. I'm gonna have to dab him up. He just saved your boy. Saved editing me a whole lot of work. Alright, let's see. Yep, she's flashing. Yep, okay. Alright, let me just... Oh my word. Why? Like, it is overly gratuitous. Like, in... I get it. Fujimoto's weird, but like, dog. We waited 2 weeks for this. And of course, okay. A little more, let a meta break. Why did this take 2 weeks, but the next chapter's coming out in a week? Why? One second. Yeah.
Get it now, Denji? She's a D, and the war G will be here soon. If you don't give him the program, we're all cooked. You need to trust us.
Yeah.
I'll trust you.
Ah, yeah. Gosh darn it. You know, Denji, it's really hard to defend your character, bro. It's really hard to... Oh. You know, the funny thing is... Literally the most hilarious thing is... I was literally... In fact, where's the ball I was going to use? Where's the... Do I... Oh, shoot. Maybe that was Digidestined. Maybe I was Digidestined to read the chapter first. I literally was going to make a My Thoughts video on Denji's, like, overall writing, but especially his writing in part 2. And I was going to mention how I think it's like a ball that's in your hand and you drop it. Sometimes it bounces forward, sometimes it bounces backwards. It's just random. But ultimately, it is still the same ball no matter where it goes along its character development. This is definitely a bounce backwards. Like, Denji being so down bad that the only way he's willing to believe Lil D is because she flashes him. And it's, like, really specific. Like, and I know, Lil D is the ancient embodiment and primordial manifestation of death itself. It's the concept given physical form. I get it. So, like, it's not actually a teenage girl, but, like, be so for real with me right now. It's like all the 1,000-year-old children in anime. It's still weird. Like no matter what, it's still weird. And Denji immediately going for it. Man, he is a ball. He is a ball. Just bouncing anywhere left, right. But anything to convince him, I guess. Oh man, Denji, dog. It's practically impossible to defend you, but. I mean, for reuniting us with all these different characters and really setting up the stakes of Yoru, I guess, really being the final boss. So, I remember that poll from a while ago. In fact, if it wouldn't take me forever to go find it, shoutouts to late congrats to everyone who picked Yoru. Because she really is our current final boss. Alright, but even with the freakiness of the chapter, a W chapter. Setting up Yoru as the final antagonist, giving a little D, not just, oh, wow, my ear! Oh! Why? This happens randomly sometimes. My right, left, or one of my ears will just go and, like, get flash banged, sonic banged, or something like that. Ooh. Oh, yeah, it's ringing. My left ear is ringing randomly. But, let me finish the analysis, please. Death D getting more character work. Her actually interacting with Denji, this time for real, on even ground, is nice. Fami, once again, I just don't know what her general role is in the narrative. She almost, especially with how she's being used now, she sort of feels like an afterthought. It feels like Fujimoto just had to introduce and include the character so we could actually get all 4 horsemen. I really don't know the point of the character at this point. But, I mean, still, nice to have her here, even if she wasn't at all conscious in this chapter. And the reintroduction of, I think, Sword Guy? I don't think this is Katana Man. Sword Guy. Nice to see him. He's the catalyst for Denji believing everything, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen next. So, overall, W chapter. If you made a late to the end of this video, please leave Sonic Boom. I don't know what caused this. I probably have to hold my ear by finger for like 5 minutes after this. I still have to record more things, so gosh darn it. But leave Sonic Boom in the comment section down below. I did thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you're going to have a picture down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So let's conclude the live reactions. See what this is having to review. I have variations of all my videos, and if you become a $12 Patreon or $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, a link to my Ko-Fi description down below. You drop 5 beans for a short video to 25 beans a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I don't want to hit the screen. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is that guy with the pencil, riding off.
I would like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Enzo, Plant Crone, G Prosper, Swift Strike, Striker Man, and Autumn Mornings Lazo, Cree Panem, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, and Azo2404. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, A+A, and Victor Raji. And then, I'd like to give a thank you to our ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Auchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. With a long, juicy, thick, hefty thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Joaquin Munoz and Joaquin Munoz. With a final Ganshuin legendary super grundeliumptious thank you to our glorious, legendary, handsome, Kashimo Glazing King, Calvin Elder.